The 45th Street Clinic is one of many clinics that make up the NeighborCare Health Organization in Seattle. The building was originally built as a firehouse and police station in 1913. The clinic was founded in 1985. It is located in the Wallingford neighborhood in Seattle on 45th Avenue and Densmore. The clinic cares for patients who typically have little to no income or health insurance. They see patients that are citizens and non-citizens of the U.S. They provide medical, dental, and mental health services. The clinic is open Monday through Saturday and is closed on Sundays and most federal holidays. The clinic is located on the corner of 45th and Densmore in the Wallingford neighborhood of Seattle. There is limited street parking with 1-hour parking and/or zone parking on Densmore Street and metered parking on 45th Avenue. There is a Metro bus stop a half block west of the clinic on 45th Avenue with access to wheelchairs. There are about 12 parking spaces available at the clinic with 2 handicap spots directly in front of the entrance. There is also a reserved parking spot for a clinician in case of emergency. The outside of the building appeared to be well maintained. The paint on the building looks fairly new and the grounds are well kept. There were signs on the building that clearly designated where the entrance was. There is an announcement board by the entrance on the building. Next to the clinic are homes and local businesses. At the time of our assessment, we observed the following: a Latino family entering the building from the parking lot, a young adult leaving the clinic to smoke a cigarette about 20 yards away from the clinic before he returned, a Metro Access van parked near the entrance of the clinic, the Metro bus number 44 came frequently, and the sidewalks around the clinic appeared to be cracked and uneven. Inside of the clinic, there is a small lobby where patients wait. There are about 15 to 18 seats. At the time of our visit, there was a small Latino family and a couple of adults waiting. There was an area that was under construction, which is going to be the new lobby for the clinic. The area under construction looks twice as large as the current lobby. There is an elevator in the lobby that goes to the second floor. There are hand gel bottles for public to use. The lobby was well lit and temperature controlled, and magazines were available for patients that were waiting to be seen. We approached the staff with our name tags in clear sight and explained the purpose of our visit. We asked politely if they had time to speak with us. There were 2 receptionists and a volunteer who were very polite and accepted our presence. We asked about their overall job satisfaction. One of the receptionists reported that she had been seen as a patient there since she was 11 years old and she is currently in her 30s. The volunteer reported that she very much enjoys helping the staff and patients in any way she can. The staff explained that the 45th Street Clinic provides medical, dental, and mental health services. They also explained how the clinic has scheduled drop-in times during the week for homeless youth between the ages of 12 to 23 years old. The clinic does scheduled and unscheduled appointments, although the unscheduled visits are on a first-come, first-served basis and are typically on a wait during clinic hours. The clinic accepts all forms of insurance, and for those patients that have none, they work out billing on a sliding scale. The clinic is staffed with 4 registered nurses, 9 physicians, 9 medical assistants, 1 nutritionist, 1 midwife, 1 psychiatrist, 2 counselors, and 4 physician assistants. The neighborhood of Wallingford was named after John Wallingford, who died in 1913. Wallingford has a large presence of older buildings and homes. Some of the homes and buildings were built as early as 1910. There are not many buildings along the main arterial street of 45th Avenue. One popular area is Gasworks Park. This is a former gas plant that was originally built in 1906 and converted to a public park in 1975. During our survey, we saw young adults probably in their mid-30s to mid-40s. We frequently saw couples with children. The majority of the citizens we observed were Caucasian. Other ethnicities we observed were Asian, African American, and Middle Eastern. In the Wallingford area, we did not observe any persons who appeared homeless. For the most part, the citizens we observed dressed similarly in warm clothing that was appropriate for the weather. The main indicators for the presence of different ethnic groups is evident in the variety of restaurants in Wallingford. The highest concentration of ethnic restaurants are on 45th Avenue. We observed restaurants serving styles of food from Africa, Japan, Thailand, Italy, Afghanistan, and India. We also observed a school called the John Stanford International School, which focuses on teaching grammar school children who are new to the United States or not to the United States, and it also focuses on a dual language immersion in Spanish and Japanese. In the Wallingford area, we observe 2 Christian churches and 1 Catholic school. St. Benedict Catholic School is a private school that teaches students from preschool through 8th grade. Keystone Church of Christ is a non-denominational Christian church. Fremont is a neighborhood comprised of a variety of restaurants, condos, high-tech companies, and boatyards. Fremont was established in 1888 as an industrial zone. Some of the industries included iron, lumber, and shingle mills. In the 1960s, Fremont began to be known for having a large presence of artists, street fairs, and an annual summer solstice celebration. Ballard is the next neighborhood that is in our western area of focus. Ballard shares a similar makeup up to Fremont in that it has a variety of restaurants, condos, and boatyards. Ballard became a city in 1890, and during that time the city was a large producer of lumber. Although there is no record of it anywhere, rumor had it that in order to maintain peace, the city would only allow an equal ratio of bars to saloons. We mostly observed Caucasians in these areas. Other ethnicities included African American and Asian. The age range appeared mostly in the mid to late 30s and 40s. We did observe some elderly citizens driving cars and walking around the local markets. There were battered recreational vehicles parked along side streets away from homes. These were probably being used as someone's residence. There were families observed driving in vehicles and walking on the streets. Most of the citizens we observed were well dressed and groomed. There were some signs of different ethnicity in the areas we went through in Fremont and Ballard. There were a variety of restaurants that included foods from Mexico, Thailand, and Vietnam. They appeared to be very busy with customers. In the downtown part of Ballard, we noticed that there were Scandinavian flags on most of the light poles. Ballard apparently has a large population of citizens with Scandinavian heritage. In Ballard, there were several churches observed. In one neighborhood, there were a couple of churches almost directly across the street from each other. No one was around the church. The churches appeared to be well maintained, and the sidewalks were clean. The Crown Hill neighborhood appeared to have mostly tract homes that were probably built in the 1950s. There were newer shopping markets, gas stations, and small restaurants. In the downtown part of Greenwood, there were some older storefronts that appeared to have been in their original condition. On Aurora Avenue, there appeared to be no structures that were older than 30 to 40 years. There were a lot of small businesses, motels, gas stations, and fast food restaurants. In the neighborhoods of Crown Hill and Greenwood, we mostly observed Caucasians in cars and walking on the sidewalks. We did see some people of Asian ethnicity standing at a bus stop. On Aurora Avenue, we observed a mix of Caucasians and African Americans. In the Greenwood neighborhood, the ages appeared to range from young adults in their 20s to people in their 30s. In the Greenwood neighborhood, we observed a Moroccan restaurant. We also saw several Mexican restaurants. While driving through the neighborhood of Crown Hill, Greenwood, and Aurora, we did not see one church along the arterial route we drove. A Google search revealed that there were several churches in the Greenwood neighborhood, including the Finney Ridge Lutheran Church, St. John Catholic Church, and Woodland Park Methodist Church. While passing by the Green Lake neighborhood, we observed houses that appeared to be at least 80 years old. There were homes made of brick and appeared to be well kept and in original condition. There were no buildings that appeared newer than 30 years, except for a condo complex along the east side of the lake. In the University District, there was a mix of newer and older buildings. There were old apartment buildings and homes, as well as new condos and fast food restaurants. While driving by Green Lake, we observed a mix of Caucasians, African Americans, Asians, and Latinos. There were a lot of people walking and running around the lake. There were people in varying ages that ranged from school age, middle adulthood, and the elderly. In the University District, we observed a farmers market was taking place. This market happens every Saturday. There were many people, and we observed that there were mostly Caucasians, although we did not stop to explore the market more. There were many young adults seen in the University District, which makes sense since the University of Washington is based there. We observed a few homeless youth and adults panhandling on the streets. While driving through the University District, we observed many Indian restaurants. I think we saw 5. There were also other restaurants that included Thai, Vietnamese, Mongolian, Chinese, and Japanese. While driving through Green Lake, we did not observe any churches. In the University District, we observed a couple of churches. The churches we observed appeared to be old and well maintained. The grounds around the churches were clean and well kept.
The 2-mile radius surrounding the 45th Street Clinic's physical environment as a whole is relatively clean and well maintained. The land is completely developed with very little green space that is not maintained by the park systems. There are several districts within the area that have varied socioeconomic statuses. The areas seem to range from middle to upper class. Within the area, there is the University District, Wallingford, Ballard, Fremont, Phinney Ridge, Green Lake, and Aurora, just to name a few. The area is surrounded by water and freeways that provide access points to downtown Seattle as well as access to the Puget Sound. The houses are a mixture of both old and new construction, and many of these houses have been updated and many have not. As a result of this survey being conducted in the winter, it is difficult to assess whether or not the landscaping is well maintained. There appears to be minimal graffiti in the area, and it seems to be isolated into just the industrial areas. The local air quality index is measured in Seattle, on Queen Anne Hill, on Olive and Warren, on Beacon Hill, and in South Park. Within these areas, the current air quality index has been good to moderate, ranging from 44 to 60. These numbers are significantly lower than other highly populated areas such as the San Joaquin Valley in California, who has AIQs up to 160. Rental properties are primarily apartments and condos, and most of the rental properties are isolated in particular areas. The U District is the primary area for rental properties. Rental properties vary in price depending on the square footage and the location, but average anywhere from $750 a month to $4,000 a month. The disbursement of homes that are currently for sale are not isolated in areas like the rental properties are. The median housing price in Seattle is about $410,250 for all properties. The average sale price for property in this area is $570,000, and the average list price is $554,660. These prices vary among districts and is the lowest in the U District. Higher-end homes are sprinkled throughout the area. The area contains several large hospitals, including Swedish Medical Center and UW Medical Center. There are numerous primary care centers that are all within walking distance or on a bus route. The area is saturated with naturopathic and holistic healers in addition to Western medicine. The Bastyr Center for Natural Health, Seattle Healing Arts, and PPC are all located in this area. The area as a whole feels economically stable. There are areas within the radius that cater to upper class, and there are areas that cater to middle to lower class. There are minimal chain restaurants and supermarkets in the higher class areas. There are many local businesses, health food markets, and high-end specialty stores. In areas that cater to middle and lower class, there are chain restaurants, supermarkets, quick-stop markets, low-end used car dealerships, and fast food chains. There is evidence of homeless population, prostitution, and drug use. Determining an unemployment rate in this 2-mile radius was unattainable. 2012 statistics report King County as the highest unemployment rate in Washington state, with the average weekly wages at $1,354. Nationwide, that places King County in 10th out of 328 large counties in the third quarter of 2012. There are several different modes of transportation in the area. There is significant car traffic, bicycle, foot, and public transportation. Taxi service was not visualized, but is available. King County Metro System provides frequent all-day routes, and Rapid Ride Line begins in Crown Hill, providing access to downtown Seattle. Bus fares range from 75 cents to $3 depending on the route, time of day, and age group. King County Metro offers services through Find a Ride, transit.org that provides transportation for people with disabilities and special transportation needs. Most of the roads in the area are less than desirable, many of them causing tripping hazards for the elderly population. Some of the streets have been recently repaved. There is sidewalk access and bike lanes on many of the streets. The Department of Transportation is heading the Bike Smart campaign, which is an effort to increase the use and improve bicyclist safety. They have added green lanes, which are designated to alert both bike and motor vehicle traffic of intersecting paths. These are apparent in this area. As of January 2014, the crime rates within the area are primarily in the U District and in Ballard. There are both nonviolent and violent crimes ranging from vehicle theft, DUI, disturbances, to assault and battery. There is an overall perception from the people living in the Green Lake area to not be in the park after dark to reduce the risk of being mugged. During the daylight, there is an abundance of people in the area. The general feel of the population of this area is liberal Democrat. There were no visible signs of specific government affiliation or campaigning going on. The City of Seattle is led by Mayor Ed Murray. Ed is a Democrat and has been an advocate for equality laws. City government provides neighborhood service centers that help link city government to the people of Seattle. There is one of these service centers in Ballard and another in the U District. The main form of communication for the people in this area is cellular phones. Several people were witnessed walking down the street with their cell phone in hand. There were some visible flyers on telephone poles advertising local bands playing in the area. People were gathered in parks and in green spaces. Foot traffic was the highest in the U District. This area is within the Seattle Public School District, which is home to many of the top-rated schools in the area, including Hamilton International Middle School, Westwood, and Hay Elementaries. Seattle Public School District has 47,000 students in 90 schools. There are approximately 25 K-12 schools within this area. The schools are very well maintained, and many of them appear to be recently remodeled. The colleges in the area are North Seattle Community College, Seattle Pacific University, and UW Main Campus. North Seattle Community College partners with DSHS to provide second chance schooling by offering GED testing and job training. Neighbor Care is the school-based healthcare system in the area that is located at Roosevelt High School. The systems worked with the school nurses to provide health care for children. The area surveyed is rich with culture and diversity. Visitors and locals alike flock to this area in order to explore quirky neighborhoods like Fremont and stroll in the park around Green Lake. Woodland Park Zoo provides a place for people to escape from the city and enjoy the animal life. Summertime activities around Green Lake and waterways through the slough and into Lake Union include paddleboarding, boating, kayaking, and sailing. The health of this community is thriving, and it is a very desirable area to live in and to raise a family. Compared to many large cities, this area of Seattle has green spaces such as Gaswork Parks and Lake Union that allow residents to enjoy the beauty of the Pacific Northwest, while still having the culture and the amenities of a large city. The potential negatives to this area is crime rates and the road conditions.